Black tea, please. Are you serious? Got it, got it. Cappuccino and a croissant, please. On the receipt, it literally says commercial sales or production document. Production. It's his production. 41. You produced 41 times? Oh, pay it yourself. Italy. A classic case of the difference between tourism and immigration. Just take a short walk away from the colosseums, pizzerias, gelaterias, pasticcerias, and you'll face exorbitant taxes that are not paid, laws that don't work, and bureaucracy that doesn't care about you. You can't navigate this mess just by reading the rules. Italian economy doesn't grow and doesn't create jobs for the past 20 years. Labor productivity has increased much more slowly compared to Germany or other leading EU economies. Taxes and bureaucracy have made labor costs too high for investors. The Italian miracle is that despite all these problems, the country remains the third largest economy in Europe with one of the most powerful manufacturing sectors. There is an opinion that the problem of Italy is populist policies of its governments. I decided to get some explanations from an old friend. In Italy, there were two main parties, the Christian Democrats, center-right, and the Communist Party. Then the Socialist Party emerged, 10–15%, which positioned itself against the Communists and became kind of in the middle. Then smaller parties split off from the Christian Democrats, each 2–3%, and moved more to the left wing. Now the Communist Party is called the PD, Democratic Party. The Communist Party today is democratic? Yes. How come? Yes, they are all communists. Do Italians understand that the communist idea is alive in this party? Yes. They understand and support it. Yes, yes, we have a lot of communists. Is that why the taxes are so high here? They want to interfere in everything. How can center-rights like Berlusconi, Meloni, Salvini have a dialogue with the leftists? It's madness. One of the main problems of Italy's economic growth is the significant burden of interest payments on external debts. The national debt is called the Italian nightmare. Every Italian already owes the world 37,000 euros since own birth. However, the primary reason is that Italian politicians use state resources as an ATM for their populist desires. So the advantage of Europe for Italy is the reduction of bank interest rates. Bank interest rates, yes. When we were not in Europe, rates reached up to 15%, high taxes, high government debt, interest rates became very high. When Italy joined Europe, it started doing what everyone else did. It wrote off government debts and payments on government loans, because Italy has always had a primary budget surplus, always. The primary budget surplus is the difference between revenues and expenditures in the national budget, not including interest payments on debt. The revenue part of Italy's budget in the form of taxes is always higher than the payment on government loans, always. I know there were debts, and at first we paid interest on the debts but not the principal, and we went at a negative balance because the debt did not decrease every time. Calculations were made that if Italy did not pay interest on government debts, there would be no debts. Because with all the money we paid in loans, we could have paid off the entire debt. But once you did take loans, yes, the country's government officials. But it's all because of a game. We have billions of euros in debt. Why not to cancel them? All countries are in debt. Did Italy, according to Garibaldi's will, manage after the creation of Italy to create Italians? Italy emerged as a result of the unification of powerful trading cities such as Florence, Venice and Genoa. The complex regional structure of Italy was overlaid with the idea of European integration, which today is no longer liked by Italians. The level of support for the EU has almost halved from 2010 to 2020 with further growth of negative sentiments. Inscription at the entrance of the establishment. Venetians for the fount of freedom. We inform you that this territory belongs to the nation of Veneto. Legally, we're accountable only to Venetians. I believe in Europe, but not this kind. Which kind do you believe in? A Europe of people, but not of nations. How does it work? Well, for example, even you, Suceava, Bukovina. Historically, this is a European region, not a nation. Do you understand what I mean? Because all implemented systems do not work in the south, in Palermo, if you're in Italy. What you do in Suceava works in Chernivtsi, because you have a common mentality. Here, it's easier for me to find common ground with Austria, because something Austrian is obviously historically close to us, even food. We have many things that we associate more with Vienna than with Rome. My brother did a simple study. We have 7 European capitals that are closer to us than Rome. It's easier for us to negotiate with them. There is currently a discussion in the EU regarding the introduction of a flat tax rate of 15%. 15% is nonsense. It should be 4 or 5, not 15. The rate isn't important. What's important is what you can write off as expenses. If the tax base increases and I can't write off anything, let it be 30, but I should be able to deduct more expenses. In the evening, my friends join us. Italy is Europe. Italy, Europe? I told you about him. The girls didn't show up at the disco today, so we started talking about life. The best time of life was the post-war period, after World War II. What was better then compared to today? We had a future. In what sense did you have a future? If you worked and had loans, you had the means to pay them off. Now you can take loans and can't pay them back. We needed very little for life. I drove the same car since 1966. I earned 500,000 lira per week, about 250 euros, and we could save. Did life become more expensive? Yes, more expensive. Now we have new cars, heating, television, mobile phones. Yes, but now there are more conveniences. Yes, more conveniences, but we don't have money. There is no money. We had little, but we had enough to eat well. If we compare with the period when Italy was not a member of the European Union, was this period better? Yes, yes. With the introduction of the euro, salaries decreased by 50% and expenses increased by another 50%, so we lost over 200%. The euro ruined us. We enriched Germany. Germany and France, countries we are against today. But why against? You are all in the same team in the European Union. We were the founders of the European Union. How did it happen that now we say it was better before? And really, how did it happen? Unbelievable. We suffer now. Europe needs to go back. They say the idea of the European Union is good, but maybe it's time to change the mechanism. No, I would try something else. Maybe leave Europe. So, Italy, the center of Europe, leaving Europe. This Europe is crap. For what reason? We're killed by this policy. We turned into puppies, that's all. We have no power, nothing. On the contrary, all expenses have doubled for us, and incomes haven't doubled. And production, industry, have they grown? No. 0.1, 0.8% per year, very little. A cup of coffee here used to cost 1,000 lira, now it's €1.10. If earlier we ate out for 10,000 lira employee menu, now it's 12 euros. Before, for 20 million lira, I designed a standard home project, very average, and I had a lot left over. And how much does it cost now? 20 million euros. But now with increased expenses, what's left for me? Nothing. Very little. To all existing problems, COVID was added. But even here, inventive Italians found a way out. Today we control the Green Pass, a QR code to enter restaurants, bars, stadiums. So we have Davide here, who will check if my Green Pass is valid and works. I believe yours is invalid. Valid or not, let us test. Let us test. I downloaded this thing from the internet. Damn, it works! It works! In Italy and in Europe. But the identity card is very strange. This is a manifestation against the Green Pass. It's against Italy's legislation, against the constitution. Right. It's discrimination and racism. You're vaccinated, you can go to the pizzeria. Not vaccinated, don't come in. You have a Green Pass, you can work. Without a Green Pass, no work. And what can we do when we have to do tests every 2-3 days? For the tests, you have to pay the employee 15 euros every 2 days. They are valid for 48 hours. It's inconvenient. It's inconvenient, and it adds up to 230 euros per month. And then there is no guarantee that they are valid. No, there is no guarantee, because there are also false positive tests in those who don't have the disease. Tests are wrong saying you have COVID when you don't. Like most sane people in Europe, Italians managed the COVID times correctly. Did you also isolate like this during COVID? We took our own vaccine. Now Luca will tell you how to make the best bitter amaro dell'orto. This is double distilled, even 4 times. It's made with absinthe, lemon verbena, elderflower, sage, mint, a bit of chili. No, just smell it. Italians no longer see the positive consequences of being in the EU and often miss lira and visa regime. In the country, there is a distrust with both local and European politicians. Italy's ambiguity is when 64% say they want an honest leader, but only 50% of citizens declare income above zero. And to all this, COVID restrictions were added. I continue on to my friends to feel the spirit of economic freedom of the once powerful trading republic of Veneto. People like us never give up.